The shortlist of 20 projects has been announced for one of the world's most respected design awards, the Aga Khan Award for Architecture. Founded in 1977 by Aga Khan IV, the award is given every 3 years to projects that successfully address the needs and aspirations of primarily Islamic societies. The categories include contemporary design, social housing and restoration, to name just a few. And this year's shortlist, chosen from an impressive list of international entrants, includes a project from Turkey. Istanbul's Beyazıt State Library renovation is among the projects now undergoing meticulous inspections by a team of experts. Other contenders for the $1 million grant prize include the Taman Bima Microlibrary in Bandung, Indonesia. Made from recycled ice cream tubs, the community library aims to help combat Indonesia's low literacy rates. Other projects include a sustainably constructed museum in Birsait, Ramallah, the Mutraf Fish Market in Muscat, Oman, which highlights the region's trade and fishing traditions, and the Worka Water Tower in Ethiopia, which transforms humidity in the air into drinking water. How has the Islamic world been doing lately when it comes to architecture? Is it successful in preserving its cultural heritage? To answer these and talk us through the shortlist is the director of Aga Khan Award for Architecture, Farrokh Derakhshani. Farrokh, great to have you with us today. So let me start with this. There is a candidate from Istanbul this year, which is where I'm talking to you from. So tell me about the Beyazıt Library project.
The Beyazıt Library project is, first of all, historically is very important because being the first public library in Turkey, but what's in the Islamic world actually. But what is important is the work that has been done. So it's the Tavan Yolgu architects. What they've done is have brought new elements to the architecture and the restored building. So by this, they've made it a more public space, more pleasant for the users. And that's how apparently all these students are coming there all the time.
Yeah, it is really crowded, I can affirm that. And there is another library in the list, Taman Bima Microlibrary from Indonesia. Tell me about that project as well, please.
Well, that is the very opposite of this historic library. This is a neighborhood library. And the whole thing is that the way that people live in Indonesia is very different to the way lifestyle of the people in Istanbul because of its climate. So public spaces and open spaces are very important. And in the city of Bandung, they've created this public space, which on top of it, there is a library. And these are a series of these libraries which is going to be built in the other cities as well. And they have used these architects, they have used the buckets, as you say, the ice cream buckets, as an element which is an innovative way to use things.
I mean, speaking of the architectural culture of the Islamic world, your departure point in 1977, I think, was the concern that architectural heritage of the Islamic world is endangered. But that was 42 years ago. What do you think has changed? Did anything change? How is the Islamic world doing about it at the moment?
Well, there is, as one can say, that there is an understanding, maybe in the after the World War II, in the 1950s and 60s, there was a rapid modernization and people were not that much concerned about their roots, about their culture. So whatever was just blindly, they were copying whatever is copying to them. It's not only the Islamic world, that was the whole, all around the world was the same attitude. But now we have got more understanding. And what the award has contributed in those years is to tell the people that you have a heritage and one has to look at it as an asset. It's not to copy it, it's not to just repeat the same thing, but you have to learn from that and go and add something for the future.
And also, I know that Aga Khan IV and the Award for Architecture is very concerned about modernization and globalization and urbanization in the Islamic world. So in that sense, I wonder, about the 3 projects, please correct me if I'm wrong, 3 projects that made it to the shortlist from Emirates, United Arab Emirates. What do you think about the Emirati approach in architecture and how does it contribute to the Islamic heritage of architecture?
There's nothing called Islamic architecture heritage as one style. So it is a variety, it's different approaches. Now, coming back to the Emirates, there was a rapid period of development and change in the Emirates. So it went very fast because there was not that much. It's not comparing to Istanbul, Turkey, or to the Levant or other places. It doesn't have the same architectural heritage that the other countries had because it was not urban enough. The three projects which are in the Emirates in this cycle, if you go through them, they're very interesting, each of them. First of all, it's about their scale, about their approach. The project that is concerned about environmental issues, which is done by local architects who have been trained in the United Arab Emirates. That is very important, the Wasit project. You've got the conservation and restoration project, which is done in Sharjah for the Biennale, which is one of the most advanced biennales in the art biennales in the world. And thirdly, you've got the reusing of a contemporary heritage, let's call it, which are how a famous architect, Ram Koolhaas, and his office has turned some warehouses into culture center. And so these are all different approaches. They're very different from some of the maybe skyscrapers that you may be meaning that what is happening in the Arab Emirates.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the Islamic heritage is definitely varied and versatile, but I still can't help wondering what kind of a legacy the Gulf approach in architecture these days will leave on future generations. Thank you so much for joining us on Showcase today.
Çok teşekkür.